It's review day for this stupid Snapshot. Hey YouTube, thanks for coming in and checking out this video. Hope you enjoy it. If you do, make sure you give this video a quick like, thumbs up, whatever down below. And share the video across the web with everybody that's thinking about getting this stupid Snapshot thing so that they know not to get the Snapshot because, well, I'll tell you in a minute why. And if you could, give this channel a quick subscribe down below. I mostly talk about tech, gaming, games, tech, fun stuff, things that everybody enjoys. And I also occasionally do reviews on said tech, and I think the Snapshot is considered tech, but that's besides the point. Let's get started with this review. So first, I just want to start off by saying that I've been in discussions with people before with my previous initial thoughts on the Snapshot before, which, I'll give a little, I think it'll be right here in this corner. The little eye in the corner of my last video I did, which was just my quick impressions of the Snapshot thing. But if you look in the comments, I was talking, by the way, I don't mean to call them out or anything, but if you look in the comments, you'll see I was discussing the Snapshot with somebody else, and I'm hoping that that person will come and view this video. Anyways, I just want to start off by saying that, despite what other people may say, Snapshot is a scam. The Progressive Snapshot is absolutely 100% a scam. Progressive is very sneaky about how they advertise it. They'll say that you'll save up to like 30% on your insurance or whatnot. And they'll show that you saved money on your next, I guess, renewal date, whenever you next gotta pay for your insurance through them. And they'll show it, as you can see right here. We are saving $16 at our renewal, which, is pretty cool. It's always nice to save money the next time you have to pay for insurance, especially when you have zero claims and such forever. You've never been in an accident. I've never been in an accident. Well, I've never been the driver in an accident. I'll say that. I've been in accidents, but never as the driver. So we save $16 on our insurance, right? Cool. The thing that they hope that you don't notice is that they also increase your rates by a lot. Now, with my previous encounters with the insurance, the longer you've been with them and when you have had zero claims or whatnot, your rates tend to go down, right? I mean, at least that's what I've experienced before, and what other people that I've talked to have experienced, is that their rates typically go down when they don't have any kind of claims after they've been with them for several months or years. So typically, from my experience, they don't go up, right? Well, guess what? Our rates went up. Our initial payment that we did for 6 months, mind you, was $1,223 for 6 months. It's a little high, yeah, I know, but what can you do? Now, at the renewal price, they are charging us $1,308. That is almost an $85 increase on our insurance. And we didn't get a bad rating. We got a B rating for our report. So it's not an A, but it's not a C, D, or F either. I mean, we got pretty good rating, and we obviously saved $16 on our insurance. But they also increased it by almost $85, which is just crazy to me. How you can have a pretty good rating and get an increase of almost $85 on your insurance. It's insane. Now, I'm going to also talk about my experience with driving with the Snapshot. Because if you feel like, it'll be different for you, if you feel like you're not going to get an increase of like $85, whatnot, you think you're actually going to save money. Well, this is where we're going to get into part 2 of things, which is going to be the driving experience, which was very hard for us. One of the biggest problems for me was the fact that I just didn't know whether or not to stop at a yellow light. Typically, yellow means slow down because you're going to stop at the red in a minute, right? Or in a second. So typically, depending on how close I am to the yellow light, I'll start slowing down when I feel like I'm several car distances away from the light, and I feel like I can slow down safely enough where I'm not just slamming on my brakes and potentially being rear-ended by somebody. I'm gonna slow down. The Snapshot does not like that. It claims that it's going to ding you if you slow down at more than 7 miles per second, which it's hard to get a gauge of, especially with this thing, because I feel like it's a lot more aggressive than that. As you'll see from these clips I'm going to show you, from different distances, Mind you, it's a little bit of different speed used in them. For the first two, I'll be using the speed limit was 45 miles an hour on that road. The last one will be about 35. It doesn't really, the distances are about the same, but I still get dinged for them when I'm like several car lengths away from the yellow light coming to a stop, and it still dings me for being safe instead of just running the yellow light, which I've done before, and I ended up getting a ticket in the mail. I got one, some of those yellow light, red light cameras that are at some stops or intersections. They'll give you a ticket for running the yellow light. I got one. So thanks, Snapshot. Thanks for giving me a ticket from being paranoid about whether or not to stop because I don't want to get dinged and lower my grade, or keep going and risk getting a ticket. And I kept going, risk getting a ticket, and I got a ticket. So it's another way that this Snapshot's adding cost to you.
What are your thoughts on Smash Brothers for Switch being a new game based on the tone of the trailer? We've talked about this.
What should I say?
Like an infrared signal, whatever, connected to your DS back in the past.
Seriously?
And fun, you get out of school and you get to play in it all day. You get hot chocolate. You should have gone, dude. You could have made it. You totally should have gone.
So now that you watched those clips, tell me what you think down below about what you think of my experience of stopping at a yellow light, if you think it's BS or not. I personally think it was BS. It's easier for me to say that though because I was actually there. The dash cam is a little different. It gives a different kind of view than it is through my eyes as the driver, especially since the dash cam is like 180 degrees and it's in the middle. But you can get the gist of slowing down from several car lengths away. If you look at some of the markers or whatever you want to use as a marker in the area, whether it be a light pole or whatnot, and kind of gauge the distance between that pole and the stoplight, I stop from far away and I still get dinged for it. So that's my experience with just the yellow lights as it is. Now the next thing is dealing with the rate suckers. Now, when I saw those commercials when I was younger, rate suckers, of people like sucking onto your window of your car or whatnot.
Guys on the window! Do something, Dad!
What is happening?
They're rate suckers. Their bad driving makes car insurance more expensive for the rest of us. Good thing there's Snapshot from Progressive. Snap it in and get a discount based on your good driving.
Stop paying for rate suckers. Try Snapshot free at progressive.com.
Yeah, those commercials, I just kind of thought that they were crazy and BS. Like, there's no way that insurance companies can tell when there's rate suckers around or whatnot. Well, guess what? They can with the Snapshot. As you'll be able to tell from this clip, there's this old lady that was, I don't know what she was doing. She apparently didn't know that there was a stop sign right where she was at and decided to keep on going. And because of that, I had to hit my brakes. And guess what? I got dinged for it. So take a look at this clip.
Into nothing but meats, and took resources, even DLC energy, away from the meat of the game. Resources that should have been spent, polishing and finishing the game before releasing it. Resources that certainly would have been better spent there, because this game's bugs had bugs, and its glitches had glitches. It was more unpolished than possibly any other Bethesda game to date. Now,
and then here's this other clip. I didn't get dinged for it, but it's just another instance of a rate sucker that could potentially cost you money or savings on your insurance.
He's doing all his anger management courses. No violence or anything. Yeah, no, he's really turning everything around. Okay, right, bye.
Now that lady, she just kind of drove out in the road even though I was coming and didn't really care. I don't know if she was paying attention or not. But it doesn't really matter. What matters is that rate suckers is a real thing with the Snapshot, and it's really something you need to be aware of and be careful of. Although I guess it's hard to be careful of it because it just happens and you have to react and you'll get dinged for it. Another big problem for me was the time zones that they deemed high-risk driving times. which they claim on their website is between 12 a.m. and 4 a.m., which I call BS on, because my wife and I, we never drive past midnight at night. We just don't, especially during a weekday where we have to be up at 5:30 in the morning to get ready for our day, with her going to work and me going to school in the morning after I drop her off at work. I don't know about you, but 5.5 hours of sleep is not enough to get me through the day functioning correctly or functioning to my fullest. And I don't drink coffee, and I feel like even if I did drink coffee, it wouldn't make much of a difference. I don't think anybody, well, very few people can go throughout their 5-day work week on just 5.5 hours of sleep each day. It just doesn't seem possible, especially for me, since I have sleep apnea, and that's a whole different thing. So I know for a fact we don't drive between 12 a.m. and 4 a.m. And yet it says right here on our record that we have driving time on average 8 minutes 8 minutes a week driving during these high risk hours. I remember from before, and I wish I would have saved the picture of it or a screenshot of it, that they used to have their high risk hours at 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. And it seems like they recently changed that, but it doesn't reflect on our actual Snapshot device. So it used to be 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. And I will say that we have driven around a little after 9 before. We still do sometimes when we're visiting family. And that's where another problem with this high risk driving time was, when we're going off of the 9 p.m. high risk driving time, was that whenever we have family coming into town and we want to spend time with them because they're rarely in town, sometimes we hang out past 9 p.m. Sometimes we hang out a little bit past 10 p.m. at night. Sometimes maybe even just a little bit past 11. And then we're getting dinged for it when we're driving home during these high risk times. And that sucks, because then at that point, when we're hanging out with family that we rarely get to see ever, and we want to spend as much time with them as we can, I have to start thinking now, should I spend time with them, or should I just head home before I'm dinged for driving during high risk hours to save money on my insurance? And that's not something people should have to deal with or debate with, whether or not to save money on their insurance or hang out with their family that they get to see maybe once a year, or once or twice every 2 or 3 years. You know, we shouldn't have to debate with that with ourselves, insurance or family. That's not right. At least it doesn't seem right to me to have to deal with that or debate with that. And then the other thing about debating with that is that now I'm stressed out about being dinged for our insurance for driving at late hours or driving at high risk hours, when, you know, there's barely anybody on the road during that time. Still have to stress and think about and debate whether or not to save money on our insurance or hang out with our family. That's stress, and it's just something that people shouldn't have to deal with at all. So that's my quick review of the Progressive Snapshot. It's the short end of the review, you know, the TLDR of the review. You get dinged for stopping at yellow lights unless you're like, I don't know, 6 car lengths away. You get dinged for driving at high risk hours, which I swear is at 9 p.m. and not 12 a.m. like they claim. You have to deal with rate suckers, and at the end of the day, at the end of your period, they're going to they're going to increase your rates and give you the savings that you'll be saving on said rates. Yeah, you'll save money. They're technically right about saving money, but they're also increasing your rates. In our case, by $84 every 6 months, which is crazy. You're not saving money. They're getting you, they're tricking you. It's a scam. You're going to be spending more money. At least that's with our experience. You know, experience may vary between people, between drivers, between situations, whatever. If you're getting an A rating, maybe they don't increase your rates and you will save money. But if you're getting a B rating with just a smidge over 3 hard breaks a week, you're not going to save money. You're going to spend more money. And this is my advice for you. Don't do the Progressive Snapshot. It is a scam, it is a trick, and it is an awful, awful time driving. You're driving stressed, you're hanging out with family stressed. All it is stress. And after all this stress, you're spending more money anyways in the end. Anyways, tell me what you think about this review down below. If you have any more questions, ask them down below. I'll do my best to answer them, and we'll have a discussion down below. And make sure you like the video if you enjoyed this review, or if you felt like this review was helpful to you. And if you did, make sure you share the video to anybody at all that's considering getting insurance through Progressive and getting the Snapshot. Tell them not to do it. Send them this video so they can know why. It sucks. It's horrible. Anyways, I'll catch you in the next video. It's going to be either a gaming or tech video. We'll see. I don't know what yet. Peace.